So pixel art is probably the easiest way to start making characters and objects and things like that. It's not necessarily the best way. It's not necessarily the worst way. It depends what type of graphics you want to create. You can see on the screen here an example of the type of thing you might be able to create if you've got the patience and the time. It's a pretty simple tool. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to log in and sign up with your school Google account. Once you've done that, you can start drawing. I haven't signed in, but I'm just showing you an example, so I'm not going to. But if you want to save what you produce, you will need to make sure that you're signed in. So I'm going to skip all of these tips. You don't have to. When you make a new drawing, it's going to ask you to give it some settings. Now, what you should remember, hopefully from your practice game, is everything we're creating is going to be based on a grid. So we made the grid 64 by 64 in the practice game. Now, you don't have to make the grid 64 by 64. In fact, the default in most games is 32 by 32. But if you do that, you're going to end up with quite small graphics and quite a large game, which is going to take quite a bit of time. So that's why in the practice game we made it 64 by 64, which is what I would recommend for you. So if you wanted to do that, you would change the width here to 64, obviously by 64. And then once you've done that, you just click on New Drawing. Click OK. And we've now got our canvas, which is 64 pixels by 64 pixels, once we've saved it and downloaded it. You will get adverts, so we just need to get rid of those. It's one of the drawbacks of using free software, but just make sure you don't sign up to anything. And then what we do is we can get the pencil tool, we can get a brush tool, you've got an eraser, you've got lines, shapes and things like that. So it's all fairly simple tools, and it's all fairly self-explanatory as well. You can choose your colours over here. If you don't like the colours that you've got here, you can add a colour, and then you just start drawing. Now at the minute, my pixel size is 1, so each of these little grey and white boxes in there in the background, when I draw, it's going to be that big. Okay. So if you want detail, that's good, because you want to be able to draw quite small, so you can get that detail. You can obviously drag and things like that. Don't know what that's meant to be, snail man or something like that. I want to finish it off now, but I'll not. So we've got the ability to do that. You can obviously change the size of your brush like that, or make it much bigger, whatever you decide. You can change your colours. You can use a fill tool, so if I wanted to fill that area with blue, I can do that. If you want to choose a colour you've already got, you can use the eyedropper tool, and you'll be able to choose a colour that's already in your drawing if you've forgotten which one you've chosen, and various other bits and pieces. So I'm not going to go through this. You've got text as well. Here comes another advert. Let's get rid of that. I'll get rid of my Facebook pop-ups as well. If you want to get rid of anything, just use your eraser tool. You can change the sizes, just the same down here, and you can delete bits. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. It's really down to you and your skills at drawing and how much time and patience you put into it, how well you do on this. I'm just showing you how to use it. Once you had made your drawing, you'll want to save the drawing, which you need to be signed in for. And you'll also want to download it. I would suggest downloading it as a PNG. You want to choose your size, 64 by 64 in these, and then we can just click download. That will then download the picture that you have made, and it's ready to put into your game. Just wait for that to open. There we go. You can see my little whatever that is. I've got no idea. But that's pixel art, and feel free to use that to create things if you want. And as I say, probably the most simple way to draw your things.